Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We are the Hebrew Israelites coming in and week out, day in and day out to prophesy the downfall of America, also known as Babylon the Great, according to the Holy Scripture. Also to wake up the elect of the nation of Israel, which the nation of Israel consists to be so-called Negroes, as Negroes, Native American Indians, according to the Scripture that God's true chosen people. Okay, without being said, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash.
Some honor to the elder apostle, great millstone, Shalom, peace be unto the brothers that are pushing this truth, righteousness and sincerity, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad, being grafted in under the obedience of this truth through the spirit of faith.
Water, bro. Hey, shalom to all you Akim, you Akwad, brothers and sisters that subscribe to the doctrine that was given through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, to our beloved elder apostles, on down to the elders, elder bishops, and elders and Akim that push the gospel to the series today. Amen. We're back at you, coming at you with another lesson, man, another street teaching, hey, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. We know we can do it, without Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. And as it says, I think it's in John, the 3rd chapter, we can do nothing except we can give from the head. Yeah, man, we can do nothing, man. The only way that we're able to come out here is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man. The way we're able to do it, man. And to all Yahweh Bashim Al Shai for allowing us to come out here, man, and to continue to preach his gospel, man. For continuing to bestow that spirit upon us, man. Right. So this lesson is ultimately going to go into, basically how Esau's wisdom, is fading. I was listening to the Bakwar Mock, that beautiful brother, man, from the New York camp this morning, and he was talking about the left hand priesthood of Esau Edom. And then I was listening to elder apostle Remlock's video, that debt is a slavery or debt is a weapon, and how he was talking about how Esau Edom is able to deceive because of his left hand side priesthood of witchcraft he ultimately indulges in, that ultimately gives him the power to be able to deceive the world, man. And that's exactly what Esau Edom has been doing. He's been deceiving the world in many different factors, man. So let's go ahead and grab that.
Thanks, real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 9.
Right. And we're just going to hit the points, man. Go ahead.
And it reads, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan.
Right. And that old serpent is Esau Edom, man. You go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, it talks about the serpent basically beguiled, Eve into eating of that fruit, which we know that fruit would be what? The philosophies of the other nations, man. That wicked philosophy to be able to go and indulge in wickedness rather than remaining in righteousness, man. Because Adam and Eve, they were in righteousness, man, until because at the time the laws were oral, man, so they knew the laws that you remember from the Lord Yahweh Shai, until they ultimately went off, and Eve was the first one to indulge in the philosophies of the other nations, which ultimately had them going off, man, and they knew that they were naked, man, So, continue on that.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
Right, deceiveth the whole world. That's the point, man. And I didn't say that before, but that serpent that was in Genesis 3rd chapter was Esau Edom. He looked like a so-called black man, but he was an Edomite. He had the spirit of Satan within him, man, And from that point on, he had deceived Eve. But now you fast forward to Esau and Jacob. Hey, Esau, since he's been in rulership, Esau Edom has been in power. The so-called white man has been in power. He's been deceiving the whole world, by many different factors, man. And the only way that he's able to deceive the world is by his left-hand side priesthood, by indulging in that priesthood, getting his power from the left-hand side.
It reads, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Right, and that's going into when Yahushua comes, he's going to ultimately, him and his military is ultimately going to be cast down. That's when Yahushua comes, let's think that war in the heavens, man. It says in the verse 7, 2 verses before that, right? I don't know.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, in verse 12.
Right, and I had stated before that Esau Edom is only able to deceive the world by, by indulging himself, by surrounding himself in his left-hand side priesthood, which, is Satan, man, who's the left-hand side angel of the Lord, outside, as well as those wicked angels, you know. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 12,
right?
And it reads, Stand now with thine enchantment,
right?
With the multitude of thy sorceries.
Right, you go into that word enchantment and sorcery, both of those are wickedness, man. As well as witchcraft, That's exactly what they are, man. You go into those words and it literally tells you witchcraft, Hey, so proves that America is a witch, man. Starting with the elites, the head elites, right? The elite banker families on down to even the regular peon, man. You have I did an article about witchcraft that's been happening, more since 2001. It was 134 people in the witchcraft community, the Wicca community in 2001. Now it's over 2 million, man. And majority of them are Edomites, man. Why? Because that's their, that's how they get their powers, man. That's how they ultimately, thrive in the world. They're wicked as hell, man. They were made to be and created to be wicked, Right. So of course it makes sense, why Esau Edom would indulge in witchcraft, man. Because that's exactly what they've been doing, like I said, and he's gonna read it. It says they've been indulging in that from their youth, man. Go ahead.
Come on. Isaiah 47 and verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries,
right? Witchcraft,
wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
Labored from thy youth. So you look at America today, man. America has, basically since its creation, since it's building up, you look at all the things that America has done. America has indulged in nothing but witchcraft, man. Which again helps them to be able to deceive, man. Because you look at witchcraft, and witchcraft is nothing but deception. Yeah, and that goes back to craftiness, man, which means what? Crafty means what? Shrewdness as demonstrated as being skilled in deception.
That's what those Egyptians in the time of Moses, man. When they turned that rod into a snake, it was really through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem shop. The same Egyptians were proud, and Pharaoh had his sorcerers, the magicians, do the same thing. But those two serpents that they made got swallowed up by that snake, man.
Right.
That was from how Bashim Moses' staff,
which is symbolic, for that nation ultimately be swallowed up by Yahweh Shai, destroyed by Yahweh Shai, right? But did you read the whole verse?
Not even.
Yeah, go ahead, read the whole verse.
If so be thou shalt be able to profit,
right?
If so be thou mayest prevail,
right? That's exactly what they lean into to ultimately increase, ultimately be able to do what they're doing. Now you look at you go back in history to 1948, small hats, you know what I mean? The fake Jews, and what did they do, man? They ultimately deceived the world. They took part in their rituals, took part in their sacrifices. The left-hand side priesthood. That's what they do, man. They sacrifice children. They drink their blood. They do all these wicked ass rituals and shit like that. To get their power. And what happened is they got their power. And now they're calling themselves the children of the Most High when they're not, man. That's one of the ways that they deceive the whole world, man. Because the whole world at one point, was many big, countries, predominantly big countries like Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Mexico, and really the Latin American states, from Mexico all the way down to the bottom of South America, a lot of those countries were being overtaken, and they believe after a while throughout the generation that being having a lighter pigment, was more preferred, man. Why? Because they would look at the white man as if he was God. That's what Esau Edom, ultimately established in the people, because he was a chosen, or because he made himself to be the chosen people of the Most High, and all the people looked at him as if he was God, man. So you got people that would that created a separation between, the Israelites and those that were really that were Israelites as well, even those that might have been tares, but had lighter pigment, like you got the so-called you got the Spanish, right? Which we know the Spanish over there, hey, they're Edomites as well. But what did the Spanish do? They came over and they conquered the southern to the Midwest parts of America on down to the middle or the top of all the way like Colombia and stuff like that, Brazil, you know, and they conquered all those areas, man, you know, and made, you know, and their men, you know, slept with, you know, the Israelite women that were down there, you know, and they had Edomite babies, man, because that's, you know, lineage through your father, right? So if Edomite man sleeps with a so-called black woman and that child comes out mixed, you know, looking like me, hey, what happens, man? It's still Edomite, right? It's still Edomite child. Yes. Like you got somebody call. Okay, wait. But yeah, you still got to eat my child because again, the lineage is through your father, right? You know, but what that created was a separation from those that look light skin from those that are darker. You know, that because they had lighter skin, that they were better than them. You know, and we see that throughout the ages, man. You know, before we were woken up, you know, I even went through that, man, because I was lighter skinned. I didn't really get along with the so-called black community because I was lighter skinned. You know, and I didn't really get along with the lighter community because you know I had a little bit darker skin. You know what I mean? And that's the stuff that we go through when we're growing up and stuff like that. But that's one of the ways so he could see the world, man. You know, he went and planted his seed everywhere and had them, you know, as if they were his life, something like that, man. You know, there's many different things that Esau Edom did within that, you know, taking over the world kind of kind of thing that he had done to where he deceived the world as well, man. You know, but then, and you know, going fast forwarding, you know, to recently the past 100 years, and he created as the elder apostles are always talking about, that Federal Reserve note, man. You know, which people are calling dollar and calling money, you know, which really ain't money, man. You know, and it's basically, as the scripture tells you, it's called a scant measure, man. You know, so it really has no value, man. It has absolutely no value. It's like a piece of paper, a piece of cloth, man. You know, compared to gold and silver, it has no value. Where in the scriptures, hey, the scriptures tell you that what gold and silver is money, man. You know, you know, you got shekels of silver, shekels of gold. You know, hey, that's actual money. It's weight. You know what I mean? But Esau Edom has deceived the whole world, putting a scant measure in place that was Federal Reserve note, as if it has money, and he got the whole world on it, man. You know, now the number one currency, at least, you know, it's not anymore, but the number one currency in the world the past hundreds of years, besides the past few years, hey, that dollar has been the number one currency in the world, man, and the most universal currency in the world, you know. And then again, fast forwarding to today, hey, you got this Crown Vic Royale, you know, that Esau Edom has been, you know, pushed off to the other nations to ultimately buy, you know, and if they didn't buy it, he would put sanctions on them, you know, saying that what, hey, we need to get rid of this Crown Vic Royale, you know, this Cyrus that's going around, and so you nations need to ultimately take part in trying to heal the people, you know, when in reality, and we know that this Crown Vic Royale, you know, is basically just a facade, man. You know, you got people going in for the flu jab and getting the Crown Vic Royale jab, man. That little old flu that they do on people, man. You know why? Because again, it's not about the Crown Vic Royale. It's not about you being healthy. It's not about, you know, your community being healthy. It's not about you protecting your family or them trying to protect you and your family. It's about the compliance, man. It's about the compliance, you know, you following in their new world order, man. You know, and there's many different times throughout the scriptures going into the Tower of Babel, Nebuchadnezzar and his image, you know, and many different other, you know, accounts of where Esau Edom wants, you know, the world to, just like Antiochus Epiphanes before, man, you know, how he wanted, you know, all the nations, or he wanted everybody to leave the laws of their fathers and to follow in after his laws, man, you know. Many different accounts of that new world order trying to be established, man. You know, King Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 3rd chapter. Yeah, I just mentioned that. Yeah, you know, with that image, man. Where whenever he made the sound, or you know, made the you know, whatever his, you know, his ready set go kind of thing, everybody had to bow down to that image, man. You know, which is beautiful because our forefathers, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which is symbolic for the elect, and they didn't bow down, man. You know, they didn't bow down. Why? Because they still followed in the law, 6 commandments of their fathers, man. You know. But this is again, these are ways that Esau Edom has deceived the world, man. You know, and he has done it because again, Esau Edom is a base man. He doesn't have no skills, man. Again, we quoted it earlier. Thou can do nothing except to be given thee from the Most High. And how Esau Edom got his ability to deceive was from the left-hand side of the Most High, man. He didn't get it from the right-hand side because the right-hand side is righteous, man. Yahweh is on the right-hand side of the cross, man, standing and sitting, man. You know. He got it from the left-hand side, which is Satan, man, you know? and those wicked angels that are under him, man, you know. So that's where Esau Edom got his ability to deceive, man, you know. Hey, but the Lord Yahweh Shai is undoing that, man. You know, and through his men, and we're revealing these things, man. You know, so let's grab the Isaiah 47, start at verse 1, and first 3 verses.
On Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1, and it reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
Right?
Sit on the ground, there is no throne.
Right, because ultimately what? We're seeing America being destroyed right before our eyes, man. You know, we're seeing America's power being diminished right before our eyes. Why? Because ultimately, you know, their priesthood is failing them, man. You know, the Lord Yahweh Shai is taking that power away from them, that power to be able to deceive away from them. Why? Because he's establishing his men. Hey, every time the Lord Yahweh Shai establishes men in the earth, what happens? A kingdom starts to fall, man. You know, their power starts to be taken away from them, and their kingdom starts to fall. That's what happens every single time that the prophets come out here on the highways and byways, man. You know, we come out here, why, man? To not only prophesy against great kingdoms and many countries that have evil war of pestilence, but to wake up our people, man. Those that are on the side, man, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know, that's why we come out here, man. That's why the Lord Yahweh Shai sends his men out, you know, is to do those very things, man. To wake up the elect in this time, man. You know. Question, man. You know about the Israelites?
No.
You don't know about the Israelites? What do you match up with right here on this side? So this is what your true nationality is, but what are you called on this side?
I don't have nationality. You have to take his paper. Jesus doesn't have races.
You do know his name's not Jesus, right, though?
I know I was pastor.
But his name is not Jesus. If you're a pastor, you would know.
That is what it is supposed to be as a problem.
Hey, we're not a part of this country. And you worship him right here. You worship him right here.
You don't have nothing to make it.
No, but do you worship him? You said you're a pastor, then, right? You said you're a pastor? Were you a pastor? You're not a pastor?
I was.
Okay, so you know what so-called Jesus looks like biblically? Do you know what Jesus looks like biblically?
Jesus?
Yeah, but do you know what he looks like?
Jesus is Jewish because it has a 30 generation in Jewish.
No, okay, but he was a Jew, but not Jewish. Ish means to act like, right? Yeah, the root word ish means to act like. But you're speaking English.
I know, but it's not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, he looked like a black man. So Jesus, who you call? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, grab it. Revelation, and you what Bible you go off of?
That's interesting. Oh, I heard that one is there.
What Bible you go off? You go off the KJV, the King James? King James? Okay, we go off the King James too. Right? We go off the King James.
Interesting. That I would like to know why.
Grab me Revelation chapter 13.
But not now.
No. Hey man, you here, so you might as well, man. And there's two reasons why you up
I have a study here.
Right.
I come back, but I would
you ain't gonna come back.
But you got two scriptures.
I have a studio here. I come back. My studio is here.
Yeah, you ain't gonna come back, man. This is the word of the Most High. If you're a pastor, you stay for the word.
I will come back to us because
it's just two scriptures. We got two scriptures for you. And then you can.
Hey man, you know the wicked flees from no man pursues, man. But that's besides the point, man. Okay, right. Here, grab Revelation starts the first. Yeah.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 13.
This is talking about so-called Jesus, right?
The first.
Okay, go ahead.
And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Son of Man was so-called Jesus, who you call Jesus. We don't call him Jesus. That's not his real name. Right, so-called Jesus. Right, go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Garment down to the foot, like we're wearing right now. Go ahead.
And girt about the path with a golden girdle.
Right, so he had a golden girdle on him, right?
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
White like wool. That sign right there, that's not Jesus. That is. And his name it's not Jesus. It's not Jesus. The letter J was created in 1524 by a man named Gian Giordino Trissino, an Edomite, a so-called white man. He created that letter J. So what was his name before then? Because so-called Jesus lived over 1,500 years before the letter J was created. So what was his name before it was Jesus? Yes. He lived in the years 0 to 33.
Before J?
No, before the letter J.
Oh, the letter J.
The letter J.
Oh, that is good thing.
Right. So
That-
what
that is
was
good.
his name? What's his true name? Because he was a Hebrew, right? He was a Hebrew, right?
Sure. It is not his Hebrew, but the
No.
Messiah.
But what, he was a Hebrew,
They
right?
call him Messiah, not Jesus, but they call him
He
Messiah.
had a
Right?
name.
No, the Jewish, they call him Jesus Christ.
I know the Messiah, they believe in the Messiah, but that's what he's talking about is not Jewish belief, not nobody belief.
Yeah, it is.
But I would like to know why they talking about like first the revelation, we're talking about the seven church. That means the now and the future. Just something for future. The revelation.
Well, let's keep going. Let's
It's
keep
not
going on that. We're gonna see what he looked like, right? We're gonna see what he looked like. Keep going.
It says his head and his hairs were white like wool,
Right.
as white as snow,
Right. Hair.
and his eyes were as a flame of fire,
Right.
and his feet like unto fine brass,
His feet. Go ahead.
as if they burned in a furnace.
Right. You burn anything in a furnace, in an oven. What color does it take? You burn it, right? Turns to
Yeah.
charcoal, black, right? So he's saying his feet, your feet are the same color as your skin, is it not? When your hand, if you take off your sock right now, no. But is your hand the same color as your feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Therefore, what? If his feet were burnt in a furnace, black, that means what? His hand would be black too, which means his head would be black too. So he was a so-called black man from head to toe.
According to scripture.
But you said you were a pastor. You knew that though. How was it interesting? You should know this.
No, I was working in Turkey, in Afghanistan, many countries. I traveled.
Yeah, but you should know that. Are you a Khazar?
What?
You ever heard about the Khazars? The Khazars?
What happened?
The Khazars?
No, what is that?
The Edomite.
Okay, this is Iranian Jewish word or some word I can't some word I can't understand. I don't know what the English means.
Are you white?
Oh, like I can
Who would be your father? What was his nationality? Or his ethnicity?
I didn't think it's like SDNA, but I don't have
I mean, like, was he like a
Mexican,
American?
No, just your father.
Father,
Was he from Turkey?
my father generation from two different generations, Russian and also is Persian. But
What was
my
his
grandfather,
father?
my grandfather they came from the French and Greece or so. But my old generation, I don't know where it came. But we don't have a national.
Right, but okay, going back to the scripture, you know that so-called Jesus did not look like that, right? He did not look like a white man. He looked like a so-called black man.
For sure, because
For sure, right?
you
So you
can't-
understand
you
that,
can't say
right?
that.
So how are you going to be a pastor and you don't know that? You said you were a pastor, were you not?
I'm artist, I'm pastor, I was pastor.
No, you were pastor, right? So then therefore that lets me know that you were not reading the Bible.
Okay, you want to ask me now? I'm sorry.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you were not reading the Bible.
Okay, I tell you something. One thing I learned one thing that many years missionary.
Get the precept.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 14.
Right,
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah.
right, out of Judah, right here, he's a so-called American black man. Today, he would be called an American black man. He would be called an African American. He would be called a so-called Negro. He'd be called a so-called black man. He'd be called a colored. He'd be called a porch monkey. He'd be called all these things. Why? Because he looked just like us. Us up here, he looked just like us.
Okay, is that I can't believe that for Jesus is there because
His name is not Jesus. If the world is telling you that he looks like that and his name is Jesus, and we're up here reading it through the scriptures,
what is his name?
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh.
because he was a Hebrew
Yahweh
Jew.
Shai.
He was a Hebrew
For
Jew, not
example.
a Jewish. Ish means to act a part at.
Okay, please,
Jewish, and
sorry,
they're acting like a
sorry
true Jew.
for my diet. I want to ask you before that Jesus is that. Is this something changed in the important for the same role that salvation?
Who is salvation for?
I know, is something changed in the Bible?
No, I'm asking you, who is salvation for?
Who is salvation? But if the
No, who is it for?
Like when the
us.
Lord comes back,
For who is us?
Is that the whole world? or
all
who is-
human,
All human?
It's
That's
three-
not true. Bro, go ahead.
316.
Yes, this is on you.
No.
Go ahead.
just for one
No.
group,
One group of people, the Israelites.
Yeah, that is the match you're talking about. Right. That's part right. But you
Part
have
right?
many-
No, that's 100% true. That's the 100% truth. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's for a certain group of people. They're called the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. The so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And those that have been scattered into other nations, but through the lineage of their father, are the Israelites. So you can be you if your father goes back to one of these tribes, then you would be a children of Israel. But you can be from Pakistan and be a children of Israel. You could be from Moab,
that is very
from
old
China,
name. Levi.
Levi.
Levi. That is old name. That is we have.
That's the true name.
Listen, we have to.
No, that's the only true name. You go back into Genesis, and all the children of Israel were named these right here.
We have many books talking about that. The Book of Mormon is talking about that too.
Hey, the Book of Mormon is completely wrong. It's made by a fucking so-called white man
Yeah.
who distorted history.
Sure.
And we're talking about that. He deceived the whole world.
If you talking about the Bible, don't think it for things.
No. Scriptures even tell you, though I be harsh, rude in speech, not in knowledge. So I can cuss all I want. It's not even called the cuss word.
This is 12
Tribe. Tribes
But
mean
how
sons.
about this side?
12 sons of Israel.
How about this side?
That's their names that they would be called today.
Today. Okay.
This is their true names. This is what they're called
Can I
today.
take a big chair?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
That's very interesting.
But going back to the,
And it's more than just a picture, man. You got to truly understand, man, because you're saying this is interesting, but yet you're a pastor and you never knew about this. How you gonna be a pastor and never know about nothing, man?
like death, man.
It says what? It says ever learning and never coming to the knowledge of the truth, man.
Scripture say that I will declare the knowledge of the Lord exactly.
Exactly.
So if you were to declare like that, that's what Paul told Timothy was, and he said, correctly divide the word of truth. See, because hey, it's like death when you're teaching the truth of the Most High. You know, we're working for the King of the universe, man, right? And if you have any excuses that's why you didn't know something, it's not acceptable, right? You should have been known this, man. If you were indulging in this book right here, which is the book of life, and you should have been known this, man. And that lets you know that lets you know that the Most High is not dealing with you on that level, man. And Ezekiel was told to go eat the whole roll and then go teach the children of Israel, man.
Right. So the whole role of the book.
What, man?
Okay, I can't find myself here. I'm not Spanish. I'm not this Indian, black.
Well, in that case, it will be according to the spirit. Because you have different people that from China or Australia that look like they're Australian and Chinese, but they can't see themselves on here. So go by the spirit. That's why the Lord told Samuel, he said, man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Most High tries to reign in the heart. Right. Because according to your spirit, it's not according to what the flesh looks like. You know, like if we have brothers that look like so-called white men, but they have the spirit of Yahweh Shah, they're Israelites according to the seed of all of them. Yep. See, it's all the spirit, man. See, that's how we can discern between who's with the Most High and who's not. Because the spirit's not right. You got people that come up here and they hear the things we say, they cuss us out, they get mad, they want to throw down the camera. Then you have certain individuals that come up, they're curious. They want to learn, they want to listen. That could potentially be one of those that was predestinated to understand the truth.
Right. Not everybody's going to understand it. Like I said, there's going to be some that their eyes and their ears, their eyes were blind and their ears were dull of hearing, so they can't understand what's going on. You can read the book all day, every day, but you're not going to be able to understand. That's why it tells you in the same chapter, man, the 13th chapter, blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, they hear. And so-called Jesus, which his name is Yahweh Shai, he was talking to the disciples. He wasn't talking to the multitude. He brought the disciples apart and said, blessed are your eyes. You know why? Because their mysteries were revealed unto his servants, the prophets. Yeah. Not nobody else.
Even when so-called Jesus Christ resurrected the third day, manifested himself to the disciples. Yep. He talks about that in Luke 22nd chapter, how he opened up their mind that they may understand the scripture. Right. See, so he didn't go around opening everybody's understanding. He opened his disciples' understanding to understand the mystery. Right. Mysteries were given unto you.
What is a prophet and Old Testament?
A prophet in the Old Testament is the same as a prophet in today. They're the same.
The same. You believe that, right?
Well, yeah. You believe in reincarnation?
Is I are talking about some someone is coming from Egypt. That's what the Jewish, or not Jewish, but Jewish people believe.
Yeah, well, the Jewish are fake. They're the so-called white men portraying themselves as the Jews. The true Jews, they don't look like them. The dudes that wear the little caps, the frisbees on their head, they're fake. They're fake. They lied. And it says in Revelations, the 12th chapter, verse 9, which we brought out earlier. Before you showed up, we brought that out. It says what? They deceived the whole world because they're not the truth. Give me Romans, the 9th chapter. Give me Romans, the 9th chapter. I think it's like the 23rd verse, where it tells you that, as it says in Hosea, yeah, but you are not my people, but ye shall be called the people of the Most High. Yeah, grab me that scripture because we've been called the so-called blacks, us, all these people on this tribe. Everything that has happened right here, and all this stuff that has happened right here, slavery and being put in chains and stuff like that. Hey, that's in the Bible. Slavery is in the Bible. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that before you grab this. Yeah, but I gotta bring it out. Since I talked about it, I gotta bring it out. It's real quick. It's not, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I'm gonna jump to verse 68, right? And this is a sign. The scriptures also tell you in the same chapter that these curses, because you know about the curses and blessings, right? That Moses gave to the children of Israel.
I understand now what these curses. Yeah.
Right, the curses and blessings. This is one of the curses. This is one of the curses of slavery. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt. Right here. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, right? And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, what nation? Because you know the Israelites came. The nation, the Israelites, came out of Egypt, right? Who's going to go back into Egypt again by ships? But because Israel's right here, Egypt's right here, they're connected, right? So how did they go into Egypt with ships? All they had to do is walk. See what happened is they went into slavery. You go into, I think it's Romans the 12th chapter, it tells you that the Israelites fled from Jerusalem in 70 AD because the Romans were going to sack Jerusalem, to siege it. So they fled into the wilderness, which the wilderness in the Romans the 12th chapter would be what? It would be the western and the northern parts of Africa.
Had the time is Nebuchadnezzar. What's called Nebuchadnezzar?
The Babylon. That's way before that. That's way before.
No, I'm saying how about this time?
So that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now. That has nothing to do. So Egypt, if you go into Exodus, the 20th chapter. Yeah, give me. Because Egypt is synonymous with the house of bondage, and he's about to grab that. Right, go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. And it reads, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Right, because when we were in Egypt, we were in captivity, right? The Israelites were in captivity. They were slaves to Egypt for over 400 years. Right, 400 years. So when I'm reading this, it says going to Egypt again with ships. Hey, we came out of Egypt. We came out of Egypt, right? After Moses led them out of Egypt. So the Most High is saying, in the wilderness, he made a covenant with the Israelites. Through Moses, he made a covenant and said, what? If you hearken unto my words, I will give you all these blessings. But if you don't, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you, right? This is one of the curses. He said, you will go back into Egypt, but not physical Egypt, spiritual Egypt, which is here today in America. America is spiritually called Egypt.
That's many churches believe that. America.
But it makes sense, does it not? Do you believe that America will be a sinful kingdom?
That's why they are here. That's why many people, many different things here. That's why.
Exactly. Right. It says, I'm gonna read it again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more. Again, it's talking about our homeland, Israel. The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It says right here, ye shall see it no more again. How are the Jewish, how are they in Israel? When it says that if you don't listen, you will never see your homeland again. Who has never seen their homeland? The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And those that are in these other nations that look like it, like you could be an Israelite. but you don't identify with what's on here, right? It's through your spirit. If your spirit identifies with what we're bringing out, then you very well could be an Israelite. You have not been over back in Israel. Have you been to Israel?
No.
You've never been to Israel. Therefore, you have never seen your homeland again. If you are an Israelite, right? So this is part of the curses, right? It says, "Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold into your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." A bondman and a bondwoman is servant, slave. Go look at the transatlantic slave trade. Were the so-called, hey, when people who look like this color right here, were they not slaves here in America? Yeah, they were. Complete slavery. You look at all this, how we were beaten down. You had all this bullshit happening to us, being hung. All these things happening to our people. These curses identify with the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You go to a Jewish, you know that big-ass Mormon church that's down there? That big-ass temple? You go ask anybody, do you identify with these curses? Did these things happen to you? No, they can't. They literally cannot identify with any of these curses. The scriptures tell you that it will be upon our people for a sign.
Yeah, I wonder for all generations.
For all generations, even to now. Right? So if these curses identify with us, then we have to be the people of the Most High.
Now they say is
yes,
the
now.
time is coming when the slavery gone, because a state we have a slavery, not physical, but
hey, it tells you right here, and no man shall buy you. You go into that word buy, it goes into redeem, right? Means what? We're not going to be able to come out of our, like you had Martin Luther King, you had Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, you had all of these so-called black men that tried to bring the so-called black community out of poverty, right? You had all these black men trying to do that. But what happened? They failed. That's why it says no man shall buy you, because none of these men can get us out of captivity.
So they say to Martin Luther King, he was like, before he died,
yeah,
he was on his deathbed, he said, I integrated life into a burning house.
Which is talking about America. Because he tried to get us all to be, yeah, he said, I have a dream. I can't remember the whole speech, that we would all dwell together, basically. Right. He found out that he was wrong. Why? Because the so-called white men and white women, which again, it's not about your skin color, it's about your spirit. The so-called white men and white women, this history right here, they destroyed our people, and they're still doing it today. Today, who's the most that's getting shot down in the streets? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Who's the one that got pushed into gentrification into these so-called ghettos? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? We're the ones that are hated.
Yeah,
no, but we're the ones that are hated. We're the ones that have been treated the worst in history.
Who has power?
It's the white man, the so-called white man. All these people down here, these are the elite banker family. They are the wicked, as the scripture talks about, right? They're the ones that are in power. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Oppenheimers, the Gettys. All these people are in power. They are the secret and the shadow government that runs all these governments. That's the way the Most High established. We were just talking about how these people, there's two priesthoods. God has two priesthoods. You got the right hand side, which is so-called Jesus, his true name is Yahushua. He's standing on the right side of the Father, right?
Yes.
When he got his glory, he went to go stand on the right hand of the Father.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You got Satan on the opposite side. You got Satan on the opposite side. There's no such thing as Christian heaven and hell. There's no such thing as that.
It's all Greek mythology. Hades, and an underworld. That's all Greek mythology.
Which is the so-called white man's philosophy. That's bullshit. That's completely bullshit. When you actually read the scriptures, you can go to Job, the first and second chapter, and it tells you when he called the sons of God, which is all the angels, Satan came also. Yeah. Why? Because Satan takes orders from the Most High.
That's why his title is Most High, High above all things.
Above all things. Romanian church, Romanian Catholic church.
The 666 for
yes, devils, man. The
Yeah,
Catholic Church, the Christian church, whether you're Presbyterian, whether you're Baptist, whether you're all these other things, hey, that's all bullshit, man. Those things, those are made up religions. This right here, what we're talking about is not a religion. It's a culture. Because this tells you what you can and cannot eat. This tells you how to operate.
Culture or God culture?
This is true. Israelite culture. Right? Now I see you standing here, Miss. Do you identify with any of these right here?
Yeah,
What are you?
I'm Mexican.
You're Mexican?
My mom was Mexican. My dad was Apache Indian.
Apache Indian. Okay, so you and the lineage is through your father, right? So you would be from the tribe of Gad right here, right through your father.
My
So-
mom is actually Azteca.
Okay, so then there you go. You would be full so-called Native American, because this is not what you're really called. This is what you're called.
No, what if I listen to everybody else? I'm called go back to your country and speak our language.
Yeah. That's what they tell our people.
Yes, they told.
That's literally what they tell
Oh
our people.
yeah, all the time. I went. Wait a minute.
sorry.
Where's the shop at? Actually, matter of fact, this shop. This lady gonna grab her stuff. We don't have that much money in our cash register before I can even
Before you
utter,
can ask, right? But
before
that's
I
how
can
we're
even
gonna be
utter a
treated.
word. And she goes, and I go, I'm just looking for a job. We're not hiring. Literally, you walk down, you put a little sentence. Help wanted.
Wow.
Right. So you be hey, you go to
I
Ezekiel
was looking for
35.
a job.
Hey, if you go to Ezekiel 35 and verse 5, it tells you that what? Esau, even the self-proclaimed white man, has a perpetual hatred for our people.
I only wanted to put my grandma's kid.
And that right there is
I just wear it as
witchcraft, and that's idolatry.
yeah, and I just wear it as respect for her because that was the way.
Hey, the Most High has no respect for persons, and neither should you. So you just because you love your grandma doesn't mean that you.
Oh, I don't wear it every day. I just
You know,
wear it to match
You
my
shouldn't
shirt
wear it at
today.
all. And the scripture tells us that's one of the curses too. It says when we are put into scattered into these lands, we shall what? Serve their other gods of wood and
Yeah,
stone.
I haven't even went to church in like 10 years.
Hey, well, scriptures tell you what? He dwells
The
on
reason
temple
why I
made
haven't
by
went to
hands.
church is because
know?
this is why.
Hey, I mean,
How you gonna
that's
go
what
to
it is.
church and go
Do you
tell
believe in the
me?
Israelites? Do you believe in the Bible at all? You don't believe in the Bible? It's like,
No,
you
it's a hit
don't?
and miss. It's a hit and miss on
What
me.
do you mean it's hit and miss? What is something that you don't believe in?
When you go to like a church, I haven't been to church in like 15 years. When you go to church and the guy or the deacon or whatever friend preaching, and he goes, God doesn't want it, doesn't need it, doesn't want it. No, you've heard it all before.
Right.
And then one couple away and go, okay, now give me 10% of your tithing.
Yeah.
Because God needs this. But tell us the truth, man. Be honest with me. You like the air conditioner? We like the air conditioner. We got to pay for it. You like what we this building? We like what this building. So we
Right,
gotta
but
pay
you
more
want to
to
know why
get
they
rent.
like that? It's called a 501c3 charter, which means what? They can't teach the truth and tell you the truth, otherwise they lose their tax credit because the 501c3 charter is tax credit, so where they don't have to pay taxes, they can take all your money and not have to pay taxes on their ass.
And if
They can
God
pocket
knows
every
the
single last
situation
little
I'm in, because I'm already at rock bottom. He already knows the situation I am.
Right,
shouldn't
everyone's going through everything.
I
Everyone's
can't
going
even
through
give
it.
him 10% of nothing because I don't have nothing coming in.
Right, but see, that's the thing. They'll sit there and kick you out of your church.
Oh
You
yeah, I
gotta
got.
pay them.
Oh,
You see what I mean? That's why we're
I
out
read
here.
the
We're
Bible.
the
I
true
read the
prophets.
Bible.
We're the true prophets of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, not Jesus Christ, not God, not Yahweh,
And if you
not
read
Yeshua, not
if you
Jehovah.
read, and I'm
We're
gonna
the
give you
we're
a
the true
fun
prophets
fact
of the Lord Yahweh
about
Bashim
Jesus and that
Shai.
little picture that everyone's got.
Grab me Ecclesiastes 5:1. Hey, you got men of the Lord out here talking, you know, and when you come up to the church of the Most High, and you got to be quiet, you know, and you know, it is what it is, you know, though I be rude in speech, not in knowledge, you know, because sometimes that's how it's got to be. You know, go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God,
That means be quiet.
and be more ready to hear than to give sacrifice of fools.
Right, the sacrifice of fools. The scriptures tell you that a fool uttereth all his mind. You know, means you're gonna yap when you're out here. We're out here preaching the word. We're not out here, you know, to hear your life story. We're not out here to give you our life story. You know, we're here solely for the words of Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's it. No more than that. If you want to be edified, you come up here to be edified. If you don't want to be edified, you want to tell us about your life story, hey, we're going to kindly tell you to keep pushing. You know, and the whole thing, yeah, because we're in class right now. But this is exactly what it is. We're here to teach. You know, the Most High told us what? He said, till I come, talking about Yahweh Shai. That's what he looks like. He don't look like no white man. He looks like a so-called black man according to the Bible, right? He told us what? Give attendance to reading, exhortation, and doctrine. You go into that word exhortation, it means to teach, right? That's why we're out. You know, we read, we learn, then we come out here and teach what we learn. You know what I mean? So that's what we're coming out here doing. Now let's get back to what we were talking about.
I would like
Let's
to
go
talk,
to-
but I really got to get back to my property before I get to go.
Let's go back to Isaiah 47 and start the first verse. And they didn't want to hear this, man. You know, and they can't handle a masculine man. You know, that's crazy. You got Jake out here with some fucking boxers on, man. You know, fucking Jake, man. So let's go back to, you know, I mean, yeah, man. Something gonna come like that, man. You gotta answer it, man. Like I said, be ready to give an answer to that, you know.
We're
Every
talking
man.
about that too.
Yeah, man. Right, man. So let's go back, man. Talking about Esau, Edom, you know, because again, the men of the Lord, you know, as we were breaking down to him, you know, Esau, Edom has ultimately, you know, deceived the whole world to say that he's the children of the Most High, when he's not, you know, and various other things that he has done, you know, throughout time, going into today, that he has done to ultimately prove that, you know, or try to deceive the people into believing a certain thing, man. Well, hey, the Lord Yahweh Shai is saying none of that no more, man. You know, Esau Edom's his left-hand side priesthood is failing his ass, man. Go ahead. Yeah, start at verse 1 again. Okay, sure.
Come on, Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1.
Right.
Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Right, man. Everything's going down, man. The whole system is going down. It's failing. You know, go ahead.
Come on,
and then that's fucking and that dust is symbolic for confusion, man, you know, and that's what these damn elites are in, man, because they're starting to see, hey, you know, that's why they're going harder, man, you know, they're starting to see that, you know, everything's starting to fail them, hey, so they're sitting in a place of confusion just like the rest of this world, man, you know. Go ahead.
Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Right, and the Chaldeans, those the wise men, you know, or those wizards and warlocks and stuff like that, the wise men of Esau, you know, because that's what they really are, man. You know, they're into that witchcraft, man, that enchantment, you know, the sorceries, man. You know, again, hey, man, it's proven time and time again. Esau has no salt, man. Esau don't have no wisdom, man. You know, the only way that he was able to get his wisdom is through the Most High, and again, it's through the left-hand side of the Most High, which would be what Satan and his fucking minions, man. You know, just to say, you know, which really those wicked angels, you know. Keep going.
Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Right.
Take the millstones and grind meal.
Right.
Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the river.
Hey, that's what's happening, man. You know, and I was listening to Elder Apostle Bar, you know, a couple weeks ago, and he said that's why, you know, Great Millstone got their name, you know, because they're like a great millstone. When you look at a millstone, a millstone is like a big ass circle, you know, and in a big ass circle, you know, that when you throw mill down there, you know, it grinds it, man. You know, yeah, man, always working. It's always working. Always. That circle always going, man. You know, always producing that like what is it? No, it's like it you know, escaped my mind. But yeah, again, always working, man. You know, so that's why Great Millstone got their name. You know how Great Millstone got their name, and it wasn't a name that they gave themselves. It was a name that the multitude ultimately gave them, man. Why? Because they're always pushing out this word, man. Go to Isaiah 2 and verse verse 7. You know, let's grab that, man, because again, this proves that GMS, Great Millstone, had the correct spirit upon them, man. And those that follow in the doctrine of Great Millstone have that correct doctrine or the correct spirit upon them, and the spirit of Yahweh Shah. And because they're constantly working, not being silent, man. You know.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, and verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O
right.
Jerusalem,
right.
which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
Never hold their peace day nor night. And you got GMS in damn near everywhere, man. Damn near every state, man. You got UK, Holland, Australia, Japan. You got fucking Italy, you know, which is you got everywhere, man. You got all these places. You got all these GMS camps everywhere, man. Barbados, Bahamas, Hawaii. Yep. You got them everywhere, man. You know, literally everywhere. And guess what? Hey, when the Western Hemisphere of the Earth, you know, is darkened and people are going to sleep, and the Eastern Hemisphere of the Earth is, guess what? They're awake and pushing videos, man. At a 24-hour rate, you got brothers pushing out videos, man. Constant rate, making mention of the Lord day and night, man. Pushing this gospel day and night, man. 24/7, man. You know, that shows you that Great Millstone has the correct spirit. Great Millstone is the correct camp to be in, man. Yeah. There's no other camp that's doing this, man. IUIC, they have camps, you know, all over the world too. You know, but guess what? You got these camps Hey, they're not in season and out of season, man. They pick and choose when they want to work, man. Yeah. Hey, Great Millstone, hey, we out here 24/7, man. Hey, and if we're not out here on the highways and byways, we're at home pushing videos, man. 7 days a week, man. Oh, go ahead.
Come on, just back that up. Look at Acts chapter 5 and verse 42.
Yep.
And daily in the temple,
Right.
and daily in the temple,
Right.
and in every house they cease not to teach and preach Yahweh Shah HaMashiach.
Right.
When you go into this word daily, all right, in the Greek definition, just to get to the point, one of these definitions is of the civil day or the space of 24 hours, thus including the night. See, so all day, all night they were teaching, man. Of course they went to sleep, you know what I mean? But the point is, they were teaching constantly, man.
Right.
Teaching how it's shot, the same spirit. That's on a select few brothers today. This
Right.
just happened to be the head elder apostle, the great Millstone on down.
And in doing that, hey, what are they doing, man? They're revealing, like it says, uncover the leg, make bare the thigh, uncover the leg, man. Meaning what? They're revealing the things about Esau Edom and his agenda and who he is, man. That's why it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, the man that's in the son of perdition will be revealed, man. And right along with who he is, hey, his agenda, man. So that's what's going out, man. Like it says, they consume them with the spirit of his mouth. Which again is the their get it, man. Ooh, that's spirit.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8.
Right.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Woo! It's Esau Edom, man. Malachi 1 and 4, man. Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, is the border of wickedness, man. Go ahead.
God, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Who's the mouthpiece of the Lord Yahweh Shai, man? Your Hosea, the 12th chapter, the 10th verse, it tells you what, man? That his prophet speaks to the ministry of the prophets, man. So hey, guess what? The prophets that are out here on the highways and byways, as well as at home, making video epistles day in and day out, 24/7 daily, hey, those are the ones that the Lord Yahweh Shai is using to consume Esau Edom, man, to ultimately uncover his agenda, man, and to warn the people, as it says in Ezekiel 3:17, to warn the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, really the elect, those that are going to take heed to what's being said, warn them about what's going down,
God, and to read, the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth,
right?
And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Woo! Right.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan,
right?
With all power and signs and lying wonders.
And lying wonders. And again, going into Esau Edom trying to deceive the people, Which, really, it's not that he tried. Esau Edom has been doing it, man. He's been deceiving the people for as long as we can fucking remember, as long as we know, as far as the history that's been revealed unto us. And he's been lying and deceiving the world and every rulership that he's been in, man. The Spanish, the French, the British, the Greeks, the Romans, hey, those 7 heads of the beast, Germanian minor and major, those 7 heads. Hey, every time that he's came into power, and he's been lying to the people, man, deceiving the people. Every single time Esau Edom comes into power, he deceives the people, man. Hey, but again, going back into Isaiah the 47th chapter, hey, the Lord Yahweh Shai is revealing those things, man. Read verse 2 and 3 or finish that and then go back to
God, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness.
Hey, deceivableness, man. How many times it said lying and deceiving, or lying and deceit are two of the same things, man. You go into the root word of deceivableness, which is deceit. A deceit means for what? To conceal and to misrepresent the truth. If you do anything besides give out the truth and you have to alter it, hey, you're lying, you're deceiving. Yeah. So deceit and lying are the same thing. It's so powerful. The Lord Yahweh Shai had to say it twice, man. That's how much these damn devils are created to lie and deceive.
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Right, man.
And that's 2/3 of our people now. The Yahweh Shai has men openly on the highways and the byways and on the internet are telling you who your enemy is and revealing what he's done, not only to the world but to you as people. knows what he's getting ready to do in these last days. Man.
Right.
See, our people, like I said, now are out today like a prayer up your song. Of course, we have a pleasant voice that brought it. They hear that word, they form out.
Right.
And they're not hearing our words, man. They're hearing the words of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. Okay? That's why it says receive with meekness and graft the word was able to save your souls, man. See that? So every time a man of the Lord is out here, you have to discern whether he's going by the word of the Most High, because the law to the testimony, if they speak not according to his word, there's no light in it. See, but hey, how much must I certain men on the planet Earth right now lifting up this banner, man.
Yep.
All right, right now it's gone to the gates of the nobles, and these elites, they see what we're doing, man. And they're ultimately terrified because they can't stop us. Man. You see, they try to take down our videos, and pretty soon they're going to try to persecute us, man. But hey, it's all according to prophecy, man. So it's all good.
Right, man. Because again, as we're revealing, what's going on. Matter of fact, we'll go to Isaiah 47 real quick and read those second and third verse real quick, because hey, as we're revealing, what this damn devil is doing, hey, guess what, man? As we're doing that, like it says, as they stand up on their feet, fear fell upon them, man. Revelation the 11th chapter, man. Hey, why they don't like the fact that we're out here preaching this word, man. They don't like the fact that we're revealing and really destroying their enterprise through the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. They don't like that, man. Like it says in what is it, Job, the 15th chapter, it says what, man? There was a dreadful sound in their ears, man.
Yeah.
This is that dreadful sound, that song, that beautiful song that's being sung perfectly by the prophets, Hey, guess what, man? That hurts their ears. It's like nails on a chalkboard, man. Which nails on a chalkboard, man? They don't like this. They don't like this sound get preached at all, man. Go ahead and
On Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 2, take the millstones and grind meal,
right?
Uncover the lock, make bare the leg,
right?
Uncover the thigh, and pass over the river,
right?
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen.
Right, and then we're seeing Esau Edom's shame, man. We're seeing all the things that he's done to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're seeing how he coveted, lands and took them by violence. We're seeing how he ultimately, those same lands that he took by violence, he named after himself, and so on and so forth. All these different things that he has done, man. There's many things that we're not gonna say, for sake of there being so much, Hey, but the Lord Yahweh Shah is having these things be revealed, man. Whether a brother is bringing out every single thing, or you got a brother over here bringing out this one thing, a brother over here bringing out this one thing, and a brother bringing out this one thing, and so on and so forth, And all the things are being revealed, man. We're in the sentencing phase for Esau Edom, man, and his lands, because this land is defiled by blood, man, And what does the scripture say, man? That the land has to be cleansed by shedding the blood of him that shed it, man. That's just how it's got to be, man. You got that? Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Right.
For blood is defileth the land.
Right.
In the land.
America, man. America is defiled with blood, man. All the murders of the innocent that have been done here, And you look at these things, man. You go and y'all, they'll sit here and tell you, oh, that this person was a drug dealer, this person was this person was that. Okay, but what were they doing at the time for you to kill them, man? It's not about their past, it's what they're doing at that time. If they were not doing anything like Trayvon Martin, he was walking down the street. Hey, old buddy thought he had a gun when it was a bag of Skittles, man. He wasn't doing shit. He was an innocent little young boy, man. And you murdered his ass, man. And guess what? Y'all acquitted Zimmerman for his murder, man. Like it says whose oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And so guess what, man? You're slaying us for no reason, and you're holding yourself not guilty, man. Why? Because hey, this is your kingdom. That's okay. Don't do justice unto yourself. But that justice from on high is coming. Yeah, and it's coming real fucking soon, man. You best believe. Hey, there's a cause and effect to everything. Right now, hey, your cause is you out here doing whatever you want to do. Hey, but the effect is you going into captivity and being destroyed for what you've done. That's what's going to be your recompense, man. Speaking of you elite, starting with you elite, on down to you regular fucking peon Edomites, man. Y'all got your judgment coming, man. You might not be getting it right now, but that judgment is coming, man. I'm gonna finish this off. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This is Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So shall ye not pollute the land wherein ye are,
right?
For blood is defileth the land, human steaks they were trying to come out with.
Oh yeah.
Now they're saying that they have a way to make meat taste. They have a way to make I think it's like plants, and not even I don't know what it is, man. It's like a whole different chemical that they can make to make meat taste like meat. Or the chemical used to make something taste like meat.
Make it taste like human meat.
It tasted, yeah, it was human meat.
Regular
Yeah,
meat or vegetarian meat tastes like human.
Yeah, it's like
as if it tastes way the fuck better.
it's like these types of people, their minds are completely corrupted.
Right.
Like I said, the Most High, nobody can make that straight. The Most High made quick.
Right.
The devil is very quick and invisible. All the things he's done, he has to have. There's gonna come a time we're gonna have to pay. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and verse 15, and it reads, "That which has been is now,
right,
and that which is to be have already been done.
Right.
And the Most High requires that which is past."
Yeah.
See, that's why it says in Psalms 109th chapter, that let his sins before the Lord continue. We understand according to Revelation 18th chapter, his sins have returned to everything. All the things that he's done, it hasn't been unseen. The day of vengeance is in the heart of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua now. Yahweh Shai can't wait to get that green light to gather all the angels, come back for his friends and destroy Esau evil, man. It's because of our people who followed along with him.
Right.
But the Most High requires all the things that he's done all the way from the past. See, it's going to be right on top of his head.
Right, man. And again, Esau Edom, this is that dreadful sound. And Esau, even to this day, Esau Edom is trying to stop that information from coming out, man. He's literally trying to, create a certain decrees. Hey, you can't talk about this. Hey, you can't talk about that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't talk about praying, for health or anything like that. You can't talk about the MARK, this, that, and the third. Esau Edom doing everything he can to prevent these words from coming out. But guess what? Hey, that left-hand side priesthood that he's praying to be able to have the strength to stop these things coming out is failing his ass, man. It's completely failing his ass. Grab me to Isaiah 19 in verse 3, because the spirit of Egypt is done. America don't have no more wisdom. America's ultimately done. Like it says in Obadiah, the 8th verse. It says what, man? Will not the Most High destroy the wise men out of Edom? The wise men or the wisdom out of Teman and the wise men out of Mount Esau. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. And the Lord's doing just that, man. He's taking all that wisdom away, man. You got Creepy Joe over here talking about this, man. He's going to ask when people are raising their hands to get called on to ask a question. He's over here going like this. Like you're a fucking idiot, man.
Sometimes he don't even answer the question. All he does is read a script and then he goes back. He can't deal with real questions.
Right.
It's like mentally unstable.
Yeah, man. He's fucking done. He's out of here, man. He over here closing his eyes, trying to be in your mind fucking mode to pick again. Just pick a goddamn person to call upon. You stupid motherfucker. Hey, but that shows you right there. And they're going back into that, that retardation state, man. That kind of state that they fucking were naturally supposed to be in, Come on, man. Let's grab that.
Isaiah 19:3. From the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 3, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof."
Hey, are we not seeing that? Are we not seeing Esau Edom's wisdom and his left-hand side priesthood failing him? We see it right now, man. There's no way to if you don't fucking see it, you're blind, man. You're deaf, dumb, and you're fucking blind. All in the same. Come on, man. Keep going.
Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2, select verse 3. "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof,
right?
And I will destroy the counsel thereof."
And that counsel's going to what, man? Them being able to take counsel from that left-hand side angels, man. They're taking it all away, man. They're again, they have two different types of left-hand priesthoods, man. Paramount was breaking down this morning, man. He said, what? They have their actual priests, that they're the left-hand side angels, the demons, ultimately actually speak through, man. They use them as a vessel and literally speak through them, man. But then you got also what, man? You got their scientists, man. Which are also a form of their priesthood, and which put their enchantments and stuff like that on these jabs, which ultimately do it. That's why they're able to take away your so-called God team when they put in that jab, man. Why? Because it's intense. They have their witchcraft mixed with their science, man. It's the Esau Edom is literally mastered the carnal level, man. He has multiple different types of of left-hand side priests, and the Lord Yahweh Shah is literally destroying that. And you got these actual priests that are calling upon these angels to use them, or these demons, which are left-hand side angels, to use them as a vessel. And every time that they call upon them and do their rituals and sacrifices, and these angels aren't answering them, man. They're getting no answer. They don't know what the fuck to do, man.
It was just like in that movie, The Ten Commandments of Moses, when
yeah,
Pharaoh, after that spirit from Yahweh Shai came and slayed all the firstborn.
right.
And then Pharaoh, he grabbed his son in that movie, he put him in the hands of that God, and he was praying to that God to help him. That God, he couldn't come through.
Couldn't come through.
Because those left-hand side spirits, again, have to get command from the Heavenly Father to go and do everything. You know, so, hey, man, at that point in time, you know, he had all this different type of power and left-hand side power, but guess what, man? All it was taken away, and he ran to those same spirits that he prayed to, they couldn't answer him.
Right.
You know?
That's real spiritual, man. That's a good movie. For those that haven't seen it, you know, we suggest that you go and watch the Ten Commandments. You know, it's a real good movie, man. But yeah, you know, so Esau Edom, his counsel, his ultimately be destroyed, man. You know, again, he's out here flipping out because he can't get an answer that he wants, man. You know, because the whole time he's getting the answer that he wants. And well, this time you're not getting the answer you want, man. You're getting complete silence, man. You know? Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 19 and continuing on verse 3, and they shall seek to the idols,
right,
and to the charmers.
Hey, well, didn't that same Pharaoh do that same thing? He went right up to a whole statue of Anubis and put his child on an Anubis statue, man, seeking to the idols, man. You know? And guess what? Again, he got no answer.
And it reads, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards,
right?
And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts.
Right, man. You know? Yeah, man, to the familiar spirits and to the wizards, man. You know? Because again, America, it has been indulging in witchcraft, sorceries, and enchantment from its youth, man. You know? So you best believe that America has wizards and warlocks and, you know, and you know, the left-hand side priesthood all lined the fuck up, man, ready to, you know, okay, well, I'm going to ask you. You don't give me an answer, I'm asking this person. You don't give me an answer, I'm asking this person. And they're going to go down the line of all of their, you know, all of their I don't know what to call it, the lineup of their priesthood, man. You know, they're going to go through all of them, man, because they want an answer. They're going to say, okay, what do we do next? But as we read, the Lord Yahweh Shah is going to destroy his counsel, man. You know, which again, we're seeing that happen right now. Esau, he don't know what the fuck he's doing. Hey, he's doing random ass shit. He's over here forcing and really speeding everything up, man. Because again, he's like, fuck, you know, we're at the very end. We just gotta hurry up and establish. Hey, but the scriptures tell you what, you can do nothing against it before the truth. Hey, they don't understand. Hey, the Most High is the one that's in control. They don't understand. They really do believe, like I said, their pride have deceived them. They really do believe that they're able to continue to do what they're going to do on their own. You know? Hey, again, we've already quoted it 2 times, but it's going to come out a 3rd time. That is number 3 for wisdom, man. You know? Because that's something, you know, hey, all the scriptures is wisdom, man. You know? You can do nothing except to be given to you from the Most High, man. You know? And the Most High is allowing that priesthood. So Esau Edom to make moves on his own, so that way he can move in haste, move like as if like, fuck, I'm not getting the answer I want, so I gotta hurry up and do this. I gotta hurry up and establish. I gotta hurry. Well, guess what? Him doing that is ultimately getting us closer and closer to deliverance, man. You know, because the faster we come into Jacob's trouble, the faster we're gonna go through Jacob's trouble, and the faster that World War III happens, and the faster we can get the hell out of here, man. You know. Hey, the Most High is in control of all things, man. All things obey His will, man. You know, as it says in Sirach, the 8th chapter, the 1st verse all the way down to the 3rd verse, man. You know, on top of that, tells you Proverbs 21:1. This is the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord Yahweh Shai, and as rivers of water, he moves whether he will, man. You know, and so the Most High is allowing this damn devil to feel as though he has but seconds. Why? Because you have the prophets out here praying for fewer days, man. You got the prophets out here doing his will, and every time you got the prophets coming out, a kingdom always falls, man. You know? And the Bukharim always say, you know, when something's always the last 5-10%, you know, and what happens? You know, you start to, you know, you pick it up, you make, you know, hastier mistakes just because you want it to hurry up and get done. Yeah, man, that's in the time we're in. We're in the 5-10%, where Esau Edom starting to become clumsier and clumsier, man. You know, because again, without his wisdom, without his ability to be able to call upon certain things and to be able to get a certain answer that he wants, and what is he going to do? He's going to move on his own wisdom, and we know Esau Edom is the face of men, man. You know, that motherfucker had no fucking soul. He ain't got no wisdom. He didn't create shit in the earth. You know, it was all the Israelites. He took out blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like I said, Jacob was the former of all things, man. You know. Hey, so we created every fucking thing. Esau Edom didn't do shit. He just sat back and claimed it for himself.
Copied and pasted.
Exactly, man. So that shows you this damn devil can't do shit on his own, man. You know, and that's why he's out here moving and making huge mistakes. You know, to us, hey, they're not mistakes. You know, this is what we want him to do, man. You know, but he's making crucial mistakes for his own good, and that's causing his ass to fall faster than he actually wants, man. You know, because again, his pride after season, he thinks that by making certain moves, by creating that chaos to establish order, hey, the Most High is having his system go down. So he's thinking that he's ultimately doing it, and the Most High is doing it. Man. The Most High is having his whole system go down. He thinks he's going to be able to establish that order or establish that chaos, establish order. No, the Most High is having chaos be brought forth, you know. And then when Esau means at the height of his pride, hey, the Most High is going to rain it upon it, man, as it says in Job 20:23. You know.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 23, and it reads, "Oh Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself,
right?
It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps,
right?
Man's goings of the Lord, man. So all these things happening in the world, even Esau completely bugging out, is all the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Right.
And there's a video I seen where, or actually it was like a picture of different news stations, and one news station was saying mask required here, one station was saying mask required there, but you have to do this, and it was all backwards, man. So these devils, you know, they're ultimately they're getting sloppier and sloppier, man, and they're deceit to us, man, because the spirit of Yahweh Hashem is with us. You know, we ultimately see it, man. You know, like it says, you know, we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right.
All these plans that he tries to push forth on the people, you know, we see it for what it is.
Right.
That it's just deceit, but these people see it as, oh, you know, he's trying to make our life easier, man. He's trying to do this, that, and the third. Like you had the whole patch, there's a whole jab patch, but it's like a stick. You take it off as little needles, and as you apply it to yourself in your own house, you can do it yourself, then you ultimately get the whole jab.
Right.
See, that right there is ultimately dumbing the people down with convenience.
Right.
Because if somebody doesn't trust a doctor, well, shit, you trust yourself.
Right.
So now you can give it to yourself. You know what all that is leading up to, man. That's leading up to the Revelation 13 to 16, Revelation 3 and 10. Everybody knows that choice. That moment is so much more closer now.
Right. You know, you got the whole thing. This what is it? Chip Blondie or whatever her name is. She goes around and tells people she got it. She got it here. She got it in both arms. And talking about she made her life convenient. Yeah. You know, because she can go around and open her door without no keys. She can go around, open her car without the keys. She can go around into her bedroom and she has her doors locked unless you know. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they call her Chip Blondie or something like that on fucking Instagram shit. You know? So she has her whole house, her whole life is established using this damn chip. You know? But that's what Esau Edom wants. That's why they're promoting. They had a small group of people, you know, go and take it and then promote it, man. You know, and pay them off for promoting this, you know, this lifestyle, you know, which again is what Esau Edom is working towards, man. That Revelation 13 and 16, you know, and there's going to come a time, you know, because there's only a certain group that's going to end up taking it, you know, because it says it has to deceive them that took the MARK, right? But there's going to still be a chunk of people that are not going to receive it at all, man, you know, and they're going to come down having great wrath. They're going to come in like a flood to try and force those people to take it, man. And that's going to be that Revelation 3 and 10, you know?
Yeah, you even had Joe Biden look back saying that their patience, you know, said we, man, you know, our patience is wearing thin. You know, I mean, they don't want to wait no more. See, they're running out of time. Their time and their rulership is slowly running out, just running out like sand in the hourglass, man.
Hey, their council's fucking destroyed, man. They don't know what the fuck to do but hurry up and do what they are already playing.
It's like the episode with SpongeBob when something happened in the episode. We had like in his brain was like a million SpongeBob laptops, all the
Oh,
files
yeah.
on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's Esau right now, man. He's
Yeah.
terrified. You know?
Yeah.
He knows his kingdom is calling, the prophets. Hey, the house of David is getting stronger and stronger. Yeah, he's terrified, man. And if I were Esau, I would be terrified too.
Right. Let's grab Jeremiah 49, starting verse 7. Esau fucking destroyed, man. Esau is fucking destroyed, man. Balls the fuck out, man. Hey, that's okay, man. You can be destroyed. Hey, cause the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai gonna come destroy this place for good, man. You don't have to see these bug outs, man. You know, y'all can hear this bitch out here yelling in the background and shit. It's just red demon, straight demon. She don't even know what she don't even know what she's supposed to do. Yeah, bugged out, man. Yeah, 49 verse 7.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 7. And it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more a demon?
Right.
Its counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished?
Right, man, and that's exactly what's happening, man. Or that's exactly what, you know, that's a great question, you know, because you look at right now, hey, Esau, you ain't got no wisdom, man. You guys fucking cut these bug outs, man, on the streets. You know, not knowing what the fuck to do, man, in their own fucking kingdom, man. You know, but then you look at the higher ups, hey, Creepy Joe doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Hey, none of these fucking mayors, senators, none of them know what the fuck is going on, you know? Hey, even the elites, hey, they don't know what the fuck's going on, man. They're just sitting there, you know, they're in a state of confusion because, again, they don't have the council telling them how to move, you know? Hey, so from the elites on down to the regular peon fucking Edomites, man, that are out here bugging the fuck out, hey, none of them know what's going on, man. And the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai stripped all that wisdom away. So they're not ultimately able to sit here and hide the fact of, you know, their deception. You know, because, hey, even though the scriptures tell you that they were wiser than Daniel, hey, they're still not, you know, they're still not wiser than the Yahweh Shemel Shai because we're out here in the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. You know, hey, as regular men without the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we wouldn't be able to reveal these things to you. We wouldn't even know about these things, man. You know, because the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is revealing these things unto us, and we're able to reveal them things unto you, man. You know, and that's exactly why you know Esau even is in that sentencing phase, man. You know, because the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai has put His Spirit upon men to reveal these things. And this bitch is tripping, man. This bitch got a whole crack pipe. You see that shit? Yeah. That bitch just picked up a whole crack pipe. She's tripping, picking up all these dirty ass cigarettes and shit. Man, you got another fucking Edomite over here fucking, you know, fucking with her and shit, you know. He ain't even saying, oh, you need to get off some drugs or nothing, man. He okay with on them drugs too. Yeah, I bet you, man. They completely okay. She damn near in the middle of the street, bugging the fuck out, man. You know? Hey, so unless you know this whole place is in a state of confusion, man. You know? Because you know, in what world would that be okay? In what world would a woman being on fucking drugs, you know, just sitting out here bugging out and he's telling her, hey, you need to get off them drugs. Hey, you need to chill the fuck out. In what world would that be okay, man? You know, it's okay in America, man. You know, that's why this is a sinful kingdom, man, because people allow that shit, man. People are okay with that. People think it's a joke. People think it's funny, you know? And that same bitch will be destroyed, man. You know, because she's over here on drugs, you know? Probably seeing some shit, probably seeing demons and shit. You know, that bitch will be completely destroyed because of that, man. You know? And yes, I'm over here cussing, but the scriptures tell you, we quoted it many times, man. Though I prefer the speech, you know, not in knowledge, man. You know, so it is what it is at this point, man. You know, but again, Esau Edom to some so-called white man wisdom is being torn the fuck down, man. Well, that's why he's in a state of confusion. That's why he's over here tripping. You know? Just go drop down to the 10th verse.
Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10, but I have made Esau bare.
Made Esau bare, man. You know, for those that don't know, Esau Edom, according to the scriptures, is a self-proclaimed so-called white man today. You know, and again, it's not about skin color, it's about the spirit, man. You know, because you got those tears. You know, the white men has come in and in slavery raped our women, you know, and sowed their seed within our women, man. So you got so-called. So you got. Bugs out, man. Fucking bugs out here screaming. That's funny, man. You know, but you got the so-called white men coming and having sex with our women, you know, and again, the lineage is through your father. So whatever that child comes out being, or whatever his father was. So if his father was an Edomite, it doesn't matter if his mother was a so-called black woman. His father's an Edomite, therefore he's an Edomite, man. You know, so he could be a mixed child, look just like me and the brother right here, but still be an Edomite, man. You know, and so that just proves again, it's not about skin color. But yeah, you got Esau Edom, man. You know, his matter of fact, read verse 10 again.
Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. But I have made Esau bare.
Right.
I have uncovered his secret places.
Right.
And he shall not be able to hide himself.
Right. He's not able to hide himself. I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a shit. You look like you're Edomite. Yeah, but you look like you're Edomite. Are you white?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's your father? White?
Yeah, sure.
German white. Okay, so you're an Edomite, period, all the way through and through. Yeah. So if you were and her were to have a baby, he would still be white. Even if he looked just like me, he would still be white. And his condemnation or his future, just like yours, will be destroyed. That's fair. No. It doesn't matter. You're an Edomite. You're gonna be destroyed no matter what. And if you escape the destruction and come to America, you're gonna be a slave. No, I'm not thinking. It's the words of the Most High. It's the words of God.
I hope you calm your mind, dog.
Nah, I don't have to, man. I got a calm mind. I got a spirit of what? Love, power, and a sound mind right now. So.
You ain't thinking at all.
Hey, everything at all is the spirit of the Lord Yahweh outside working within me, man. Come on, man. Bugged out, man. You know, that's okay, man. He came over here to show us that he has a fucking, a so-called
black girlfriend. I'm not racist.
I don't give a fuck.
Care about your girlfriend, man.
I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean?
Somebody worry about your girlfriend, man.
Yeah, man.
God dang, man.
I don't need to see that shit, man. You know? And that shows you they ain't got no fucking wisdom, man. You know, why would you come over here? And man, it shows you his pride too, man. You know, because he's showing two so-called black men and he got a black woman. What you think you're gonna be? What, you gonna have your black card now?
Right, yeah, you cool now.
All right, you just no. You know what? We're gonna stop preaching the word because you got a so-called black woman. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. You know? You still a fucking Edomite. That baby still come out of fucking Edomite. She's still a dumbass fucking Jake. That's really what it boils down to. You got a dumbass fucking black woman. You know, he's so stupid as fuck. What's he doing?
Jeremiah 49 and 10. For thus saith the Lord, behold. So like it, but I have verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places.
Right.
And he shall not be able to hide himself.
Right.
His seed is spoiled. Woo. And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. He is spoiled, man. He's through. You know? You can't get around that.
Esau, fuck, man.
Everybody, that's why it says prepare slaughter for his children, man, for the iniquity of their fathers.
Right.
You see, hey, Mosai says that he punishes the seed of the fathers upon the third and fourth generation.
Right.
You see that? So hey man, if you're an Edomite or any of these heathen nations that are coming back to, hey, you better, hey man, you better hope, you know what I'm saying, that you're an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? It's somewhere in your lineage, father side goes back to an Israelite. Because if not, you're done for.
Yeah, you're done.
That's why Yahweh Shema Shai is so good, man. That's why it's also highly praised, because you could have woke up as an Israelite. You know, but yet you woke up as an Israelite, as one of those that has the truth, has the opportunity to receive salvation and not to.
Yeah, don't want to take it.
Don't want to take it. You know, so a lot of our people, 2/3, people consider. Verse 11, leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me.
Right.
For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
Right, man. Esau Edom is gonna, Esau Edom, he says, none seeth me. What is that? What is that scripture? And none seeth me?
Yeah.
I think it's in Psalm 4 or because again, Esau Edom don't think that the Most High, is ultimately gonna, see all the iniquity that he has done. Esau Edom thinks he's literally gonna go all together unpunished, man. But the Lord Yahweh Shah has other plans, man. Because of this damn devil, indulging in the witchcraft, and the scriptures tell you, in yeah, go ahead and get that one. No. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness,
right?
Thou hast said, none seeth me.
None seeth me, man. He really thinks he got away with all the things that he's done, man. Esau Edom, he doesn't consider the latter end of what he has done, man. He doesn't consider the fact that there's a and you see it, man. He don't believe in karma, you know. Karma is basically, you know, what goes around comes around, man. You know, he don't believe that, man. He believes that he's able to continue to be wicked, continue to establish his world around wickedness, and he'll be all good, man. Continue to murder, you know, like it says, he comes out and still kill and destroy. He thinks he's gonna be able to do those things, and there's not gonna be a recompense for it. But the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, again, he has other plans, man, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 52, verse 3. Thou lovest evil more than good,
Right.
and lying rather than to speak righteousness, say
Right.
law. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue.
Right.
The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of the dwelling place, and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living, say law. The righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness.
Right, man. You know, because again, he's so you know, he does certain things, he trusts in lying and wickedness and witchcraft and so on and so forth, and he prospers, you know. Really, and the whole time that he's prospering, not thinking that he's going to receive that punishment, because he's going to receive punishment, man, you know. And the Lord, and really, you know, him indulging in that witchcraft, what does the scripture tell you in Exodus 22 and 18, man? Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And we know that starting with the elites on down, and America is nothing but a place of witchcraft, man. You know? And what do you do to a fucking witch? Burn. You fucking burn it, man. You know? And that's what's coming. That's why it's, you know, hey, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to recompense this place, man. You know? Let's grab Jeremiah.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 25. You read,
Yeah,
behold,
wicked as hell. You got the whole thing on your head. Oh, hell no. As if you were so-called Jesus Christ, and you had that happen to you. You had it tatted on his head, you know, and you have no idea what kind of shit he went through, and you have it tattooed on your head. Oh hell no, man. Hey man, that's wickedness, man. That's pure fucking wickedness, man. It's a walking demon right there, man.
I've never seen somebody have that in their head.
Yeah, it's crazy. The same thorns or whatever, you know what I mean, like Passion of the Christ, you know. Hey, matter of fact, he went through more shit than that, man.
Oh, hey, so you read it to the point where you recognize it.
Yeah, he was marred more than any man in history. We're talking about Emmett Till. We're talking about any slave.
Anybody.
Marred more than any man. You all sit there and put on just one thing. Okay, how about you disfigure your whole fucking face to represent that? If you're gonna do something like that, disfigure your whole fucking body. Because it wasn't just his face, it was his whole fucking body that was marred, man. You know? But still, to get tattoos and shit like that, hey, it's scripture, man. You know?
Flesh.
Yeah, man.
He was sitting there laughing about it.
Yeah. As
Demon,
if,
man. Damn,
straight
man.
demon, man. Walking demon in the fucking flesh,
That's
man.
crazy.
You know? Go ahead, bro.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 25.
Yep.
It reads, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain.
We're talking about America, Babylon the Great, man. The Lord Yahweh Shemashah is stating right here that he's against this place, man. That's why it says in Amos 9 and 8, that what? His eyes are upon the simple kingdom, man. This is a simple kingdom. I even asked old buddy that was over here earlier if he believes it's a simple kingdom, man. He said yes. If y'all heard, he said yes. Come on, man. Everybody knows that America is sinful, man. This is a land of sin, a land of iniquity, a land of witchcraft, man. You know?
It reads, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountains, saith the Lord,
Right?
which destroyeth all the earth.
Right, destroys all the earth. And what did the Lord Yahweh Shemashah say in Revelation 11 and 18? He will destroy thee that destroy the earth, man. So this is exactly what he's going to do.
And it reads, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee,
Right?
and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain.
Hey, well, guess what? Didn't we already say that how you kill the witch? Burning. And well, America's got that coming, man. America's got that burning coming. This is what's coming to the number one witch, which is Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots, man. You know? Which is a fucking witch. Starting with you fucking elites on down to your regular fucking Edomites, man. This is what's coming to your motherfucking, you know, your hometown. You know, coming to a city near you. You know? And America's got it fucking coming, man. You damn devils, man. You really think you got away with this shit, but you didn't, man. The Lord Yahweh Shemashah said your sins are reached to the heavens. You know, the brother brought out with Psalm 109, you know, that what, man, that your iniquity will never fulfill the Lord forever. You know, that your sins may not be blotted out, man, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment. So I mean, you know, let's got something else to get. Matter of fact, and
Jeremiah
we'll end it right there, man.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 13. Oh, thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures.
Hey, that's talking about America, man. You know, you go into Ezekiel the 28th chapter, it tells you what, man, they have got great riches, man. You know, that's talking about America, man. You know, Babylon the fucking great, man. You know, which Babylon ain't fucking great, man. You know, it's like you got Trump, you know, make America great again. America was never being great, man. It's been great for Esau, but it ain't never been great for everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, the Lord Yahweh Shah is going to destroy this fucking place, man. That's why I said, go ahead.
Thine end is come.
Thine end is come. Because that's what's coming to you damn devils, man. Your end, like it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. You know? And your end is coming, man. Just as your counsel's been destroyed, hey, your actual destruction is coming. It's right around the corner, man. Go ahead.
Come on. And the measure of thy covetousness.
Right, man. You know, you're gonna stop being able to fucking take shit, you know, and claim it for your own when it never was yours, man. You know? And the Lord Yahweh Shah is done with all that shit, man. You know, and we're all done with that shit, man. We're tired of fucking, you know, having Esau even speak up and say, oh, I did this, I did that. But you ain't do shit, you know? You ain't did nothing, man. You know, excuse me for my language, man. You know, but still, man, Esau Edom didn't do shit. You know, except be a devil. Yeah, man. You know, like I said, he comes out but steal, kill, and destroy, man. That's all he's ever done, man. You know. So, come on, man. So with that, you know, Lord willing is edifying, Lord willing, straight to the point, man. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakakodash. Again, double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops who rule very well, very beautiful. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel and truth and sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Shemel Shai, the 144,000 elect men risking their safety day in and day out for the truth, battling the elements day in and day out for the truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. May the election Yahweh Shemel Shai, Lord, one up on our houses. I want to say Shalom, from Yahweh, and Shalom.